Hello dear students, today I'm going to conduct a lesson about comparative typology of cultures. And we know that language teachers, while teaching the language, they should teach the culture of that language, that country also. For example, if you are English language teacher, you should teach the culture of England, you should teach English culture to your students also. If you are a French teacher, you should teach French culture, you should teach the culture of France also. Like this, while teaching the language, you should teach the culture. And comparative typology of cultures, this subject studies the typology of different cultures, the typology of different languages. And firstly, we should review the comparative typology and culture. So what's comparative typology, what's culture? Comparative typology is a significant branch of linguistics and lexicology. It studies the differences and similarities between the languages and establishes the languages typology. For example, typology means to typify the languages according to their characteristics. And culture, we know that culture, it's art. This food, it can be language, it can be religion, it can be beliefs, maybe it can be traditions, habits, customs. All of them are just culture. And what is culture? Culture refers to a set of patterns of human activity within a community or social group, and the symbolic structures that give significance to such activity. For example, customs, habits, traditions, laws, social standards, clauses can be examples of cultural elements. Nowadays, for example, some cultures, they were in the past, but nowadays they don't exist. Like, for example, Roman culture. Roman culture, we can say nowadays this culture doesn't exist. But nowadays we have got such kind of popular cultures also. For example, Chinese culture, Muslim culture, they are popular in the world, and most people in the world, they just try to learn the culture of these kind of countries also. They just want to see their culture. For example, while traveling, they want to see the elements of these countries, the elements of the culture while traveling. And we have got a lot of different kind of subjects also just to teach the culture, and our learners can learn different elements of culture while learning the languages. And on this picture you can see some countries' nicknames, and these nicknames were given to the countries according to their culture. For example, the nickname of China is just the red dragon. According to their culture, the red dragon is just the symbol of this country, and there are given a lot of countries, and there are given a lot of just nicknames for them. And we can know that if you look at these nicknames, you can know that these nicknames were given for them in order to, according to their culture, in order to analyze their culture. We can see these nicknames on the picture. And as I have mentioned before, language and culture always they should be together. They should taught together. They should be taught together in the lesson. While teaching the language, the teacher should teach the culture also. And in this table, we have compared language and culture. How intercultural knowledge, how language knowledge can be input together, and how language awareness, how cultural awareness can be noticed together, how we can practice the language, and how we can improve our intercultural skills, how we can practice it. While practicing, for example, while getting the knowledge about language, we should get the knowledge about intercultural knowledge also. We should get knowledge about culture also. While having language awareness, we should be aware of the culture of that country also. We should be aware of that language, that country's culture also. We should have intercultural awareness. Any kind of language teacher, they should have intercultural awareness also. They should have language awareness, and at the same time they should have intercultural awareness. While practicing the language, they should have intercultural skills also. They should practice their intercultural skills. They should improve their intercultural skills also. And while using the language, we should use interculture also in our speech, for example. And we should acquire such kind of knowledge. While acquiring the language, we should acquire culture also. We should have intercultural knowledge, and all of them will be together intercultural communicative competence. Why intercultural communicative competence? Because language teachers, they should have intercultural competence also. They should be able to communicate with their, for example, students. They should be able to improve their students' intercultural competence also. And teachers, they should have their own intercultural competence while teaching the language, while teaching the culture also. And this subject has got a lot of relationship with another subjects also, like, for example, cognitive linguistics, mental linguistics, psychology, typology. And typology, we know that typology can typify the language, and comparative typology of cultures typifies the cultures. It compares different cultures and it analyzes different cultures. And while analyzing different cultures, we can improve our intercultural knowledge. We can improve our intercultural skills. And so what's the intercultural competence of the teacher? And if teacher has got intercultural competence, they should have the ability of interpreting. They should have the skills of interpreting. They should have the skills of analyzing any kind of information. They should have the knowledge about culture. They should have the knowledge about the language. They should have critical cultural awareness. Teachers should improve their students' critical thinking skills while improving their cultural awareness. And they should have attitudes of curiosity. For example, they should have attitude of openness. And they should have skills of discovery. And they should have skills of interaction with their students. While having interaction with their students, they can communicate about culture. They can improve their students' skills about culture. And like this, teachers can improve their intercultural competence. And on this diagram, you can see cultural typology. And we can divide cultural typology into 4 sides. Like, for example, this side can be flexibility, and this side can be controlling, and these sides can be internal and external sides. In all these diagrams, we can include team working activities. For example, while working together, while working in groups, students can improve their intercultural competence. Students can improve their intercultural skills. They should know how to work together. They should know how to solve the problems together. They should now how to practice different kind of cultural activities. And you know, for example, while working together, students can improve their communicative skills also. While improving their communicative skills, they can get a lot of knowledge, information from each other. And in such kind of subjects also, in for example, in comparative typology of culture, this is subject, and during this subject also we can use different kind of activities for our students in order to improve their intercultural skills, their intercultural competence. And while using this kind of activities, we can improve our students' intercultural skills, and it can be easy for them to understand the culture of that country, to understand the culture of the society, to understand the culture of community. For example, in my lessons, I use such kind of activities. I just divide my groups, my whole group into several groups, and then I ask them to write the cultural elements of different cultural groups. They can be divided into small groups, and then while working in small groups, they can discuss different kind of cultures. They can analyze different kind of cultures, and after having analyzed it, after having worked together, they can present their cultural group. And while presenting the cultural group, they can get information about a lot of cultural groups. For example, cultural group can be Chinese cultural group, maybe Indian Chinese cultural group, maybe. They can write different cultural elements of different cultural groups. Through this, they can get information about different cultural groups, and they can get knowledge about different cultural groups. And through these kind of activities, we can improve our students' intercultural skills and cultural behavior. So what's cultural behavior? For example, practicing, it can be cultural behavior. Ideas can be cultural behavior. Practicing can be cultural behavior. And through different kind of activities, through different kind of such kind of knowledge, through different kind of information, they can improve their cultural behavior also, students. And different kind of society, different kind of community also try to show their cultural behavior. Each community, each society, they have different cultural behavior. They just try to show their cultural behavior through different practices, through different presentations, through different kind of information. And in this table, I just tried to give information about cultural heritage. So we can divide cultural heritage into two types: tangible cultural heritage and intangible cultural heritage. So what's tangible cultural heritage? For example, we can touch this kind of heritage. We can touch it. We can, for example, we can touch it. We can see it, we can watch it maybe. And intangible cultural heritage means that we cannot touch. We can just see, maybe we can feel it, maybe we can celebrate it, maybe. And tangible cultural heritage can be divided into two types. They can be movable heritage and they can be immovable heritage. Movable heritage means that we can move this kind of heritage from one place to another place. For example, paintings, sculptures, furniture, different kind of wall paintings. We can move this kind of cultural heritage from one place to another place. And they are called tangible cultural heritage because we can touch them. We can touch the paintings, we can touch the sculptures maybe. And immovable heritage can be different kind of historical buildings maybe, monuments maybe, archaeological sites maybe. They are called immovable heritage because we cannot move them from one place to another place. They can be stand in one place, and we can touch this kind of historical buildings, for example, maybe. We can touch monuments maybe. So that's why they are called tangible cultural heritage. And intangible cultural heritage can be, for example, traditions, customs, habits, rules, different kind of festivals maybe, traditional skills maybe. They are intangible cultural heritage because we cannot touch them, just only we can feel them, we can celebrate them. We can celebrate different kind of festivals maybe. We can celebrate different, we can celebrate our family traditions maybe. Maybe we have got such kind of family traditions which we celebrate every year maybe. So they are intangible cultural heritage. And in this picture I just can show you some examples of cultural heritage types. For example, built environment. And these pictures, you can see the pictures, different kind of built environment, and they were built by human. And natural environment, they are, for example, created naturally. They were not created by human. They are natural, we can feel this kind of natural environment, we can enjoy from this kind of natural environment, and we can enjoy built environment also. We can enjoy to see different kind of historical buildings maybe. Nowadays also we can see different kind of historical buildings, and we can feel the history while watching, while seeing this kind of historical buildings. And artifacts, they are pieces of arts from the past. For example, in the past, just a lot of sculptures, they did different kind of monuments, they did different kind of historical buildings, and and nowadays we can see the pieces of such kind of artifacts, and from it we can analyze the history. From this kind of artifacts we can analyze the culture, we can analyze the culture of the particular community maybe, and we can see the differences between different kind of artifacts maybe. So nowadays scientists, researchers, they are trying to find such kind of artifacts in order to find more information about the history. And culture, we see tradition. Now, most students, we can say, or most people, they just sometimes they cannot differ culture and tradition. Sometimes they can say that this tradition can be culture also, or this culture can be tradition also, but we can say tradition is a part of culture. Culture can be, for example, from the past, it can be as a tradition, it can be, but it's also part of the culture. And sometimes when people go to different kind of countries, they can be shocked from some traditions, and this is called culture shock. When you go to foreign countries, maybe when you go abroad, you can see the elements of the culture, and you can be a bit shocked by these kind of elements of culture, by different kind of traditions maybe. And when people come from another country to our country, sometimes they can be also shocked from our traditions, from our culture. They can be shocked from our clothes maybe, they can be shocked from our buildings maybe. So it can be somehow from our traditions. We have got different kind of traditions related to wedding ceremonies, we have got different kind of traditions related to different kind of festivals, different kind of holidays. It can be somehow culture shock for them. Culture shock, so that's why it is important, before traveling to any kind of country, you should be aware of the culture of that country, of that community, of the people also. Because when you communicate with foreign people, if you are aware of their culture, if you are aware of their cultural behavior, if you are aware of their cultural typology, then it can be easy for you to communicate with them. And then you cannot, sometimes if you don't know about their culture, if you are not aware of their culture, sometimes you can tell them the wrong sentence maybe, sometimes you can tell them the wrong information maybe, or you can ask the wrong question maybe. And in this case, it is very important to be aware of the culture of that country, that community also. And comparative typology of cultures subject gives our students to analyze different cultures, to compare different cultures. While having this subject, our students can be aware of different cultures. They have got an opportunity of comparing different cultures, analyzing different cultures, and they have got an opportunity of improving their intercultural communicative competence. And we know that any kind of teacher while teaching their language, while improving their students' language skills, they should use different kind of communicative language teaching methods in the lesson also. And while using communicative language teaching method, they should improve their students' critical thinking skills. They should improve their students' intercultural competence. And we are a pedagogical university, and we prepare future English language teachers. In our we prepare teachers, and in our faculty we prepare future English language teachers. And while after graduating our university, after graduating our faculty, our students will go to different kind of secondary school, license, maybe colleges, maybe in order to teach the language. They will become English language teachers, and while teaching the language, they should teach the culture also. And while teaching the language, they should use different kind of communicative language teaching methods also. They should use direct method in order to improve their students' speaking skills. They should use communicative language teaching method in order to improve their communicative skills. And we know that our students, they are eager to improve their skills, to improve their language skills. They are eager to improve their methodological skills, their professional skills. So, and as a teacher, we should help our students to improve their skills, all skills, methodological skills, language skills, professional skills, intercultural skills also. And nowadays there are popular culture and traditional culture. So what's popular culture and what's traditional culture? Popular culture can be popular in the world, and a lot of people just try to celebrate this kind of holidays. A lot of people in the world, they just, for example, we have got international holidays like New Year maybe. It can be popular culture in the world for all the people, for all the communities, because all the people in the world just try to celebrate New Year every year. And we have got International Women's Day. This is also international holidays, and not only in our country but in the world. All the community, all the people just try to celebrate this holiday. They are called popular culture. And traditional culture can be just only one particular community can celebrate this kind of traditional culture. For example, Nowruz holiday, this is our national holiday, and somehow Nowruz holiday is our tradition, because every year Uzbek people in our country, they just try to celebrate this holiday with their family, and they have got their own family traditions. Every year they just try to celebrate it like a tradition. This is tradition culture. This is our own national holiday, and this is our tradition. And for English people, for example, they have got Easter holiday, and every year they just try to celebrate it with their family, or Thanksgiving Day, like this kind of holidays which is related to that community, that country, and this is their traditional culture. Every year they just try to celebrate Thanksgiving Day with their family. This is their tradition. They have got their own traditions, they have got their own habits related to celebrating this kind of holidays maybe, and this is called traditional culture. And there are cultural tourists also. Just I want to give some information about cultural tourists, and we can divide cultural tourists into two types: true cultural tourists and spurious cultural tourists. And true cultural tourists also can be divided into different small types, like true cultural tourists who would like to see different kind of sites, sightseeing places. And true cultural tourists can be divided into tourists which would like to see different kind of events which are celebrated in this community in this country. For example, true cultural tourists who would like to see different kind of sightseeing places, they would like to visit different kind of museums, they would like to visit historical buildings, historical sites, they would like to visit archaeological sites, they would like to visit different kind of art galleries maybe, because they are true cultural tourists, and they would like to see the places which is famous in this country, which is famous in this community. And some true cultural tourists, they would like to see different kind of events. For example, they would like to see special events related to this culture. They would like to see different kind of festivals, maybe. They would like to see different kind of ceremonies, maybe. They would like to see different kind of wedding ceremonies, maybe. And they are also true cultural tourists. And there are such kind of types of tourists, culture tourists, which they would like to see only the nature, maybe. For example, they would like to visit the natural places like rivers, maybe seas, maybe. They would like to have adventures, maybe, and they would like to have such kind of driving activities, maybe, because they would like to see the nature of that culture, the nature of that country, of that community, maybe. And there are such kind of tourists which would like to see just sports events. For example, they would like to participate in different kind of sports events, sports games, maybe. They really would like to enjoy from watching sports games, maybe. And we have got such kind of cultural tourists that would like to have business. They would like to have meeting conventions with the people of this country. They would like to have meeting conventions with a particular group of people, because their main aim is just to establish business in this country, to establish their own business in this community with the people, maybe. So there are different kind of such kind of cultural tourists. And cultural tourists also, we can say, they are eager to see different kind of cultural events. They are eager to see different kind of sightseeing places. They are eager to participate in different kind of sports games, and there are a lot of different kind of country. They every year attract a lot of cultural tourists to their country, and through tourism they can improve their development, maybe like this. So we can say that improving students' intercultural competence, improving students' intercultural skills can be very important for any kind of language teacher, because as we have mentioned before in the beginning of our lesson, that while teaching the language, while teaching the culture can be very important, and while teaching the language we should teach the culture also. And as a teacher, as a language teacher, we should always try to improve our intercultural competence. We should always try to improve our intercultural skills, and every year, every day maybe, we should try to refresh our knowledge in this sphere, in this field, because there are a lot of information related to improving students' intercultural competence, not only for students, for teachers also. There are a lot of different kind of information related to culture. There are a lot of different kind of books, magazines, different kind of articles related to culture. And culture is very interesting for students also. And while teaching the culture, we can attract our students' attention to our lesson also, because it can be somehow interesting for our students to participate in the lesson, to improve their team working skills, to improve their pair work skills, and to improve their problem solving skills also. And while teaching the culture, we can give them different kind of case studies related to different kind of culture. For example, in my lessons I just try to give different kind of case studies to my students in order to improve their critical thinking skills. While working with case studies, they can just try to solve different kind of problems related to culture, related to the event, related to the situation. And while solving the problem, they can improve their critical thinking skills. There are a lot of such kind of different kind of technologies, different kind of methods which we can improve our students' language skills, their intercultural skills, their methodological skills. And as a teacher, we should always help our students to improve their skills, to develop their skills. And we do hope that through our lessons our students can get a lot of information about improving their intercultural communicative competence. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.